This video will show how to create the following two small Perl programs. First, creating a new Perl file in an empty directory, implementing it with a trivial program, printing the classical phrase "Hello World" to the screen. Then the Hello World program will be replaced with another program, which receives input argument from the command line and also receives keyboard input from the user. This video is part of at least one playlist showing how to do the above with different programming languages. There should be a link to that playlist in the description below. Prerequisites. You, the viewer of this video, are assumed to have some skills in at least some programming language. I will not explain basic concepts such as what is a variable or what is an array or what is a for loop. Even if you have never written source code with Perl, you are assumed to be able to understand, for example, what this Perl code below does. In this video, I am using Windows 10, and I start by showing which version of Perl I have installed. The version of Perl is 5.32.1. The Windows command dir shows that I am starting from an empty directory. Now I am creating a new directory called Perl with the Windows command md. Then I navigate into the new directory with cd Perl. Then I start Visual Studio Code by typing code and a dot, which is the path to the current directory. When Visual Studio Code has started, I create a new Perl file, arguments_inputs.pl, in the new directory Perl. When you are creating a Perl script, you do not need to write the code in a function or class with the main method, which is needed in some other programming languages. You can instead write code in the file directly on a file global level outside of any function. Now I implement the initial trivial Perl script by calling the print function to print Hello World on the screen. Then I am showing with the Windows command dir that the Perl file has been created in the Perl directory. The Perl script can now be executed by typing Perl and then the file name. When the script is executed, Hello World is shown on the screen just as expected. Now I will replace the initial Hello World implementation with a program that will receive and print arguments from the command line. The program will also ask the user to enter a name and will then print to the screen what the user typed. For this purpose, I have prepared some pseudocode that I will paste into the program, but in comments, since of course it would not be possible to execute. Then I will modify the code by changing it to Perl code that can be executed. Now I am showing how the program arguments will be provided to the program when it is executed. The arguments will be added after Perl and then the name of the Perl file and then a space between each argument. So here I am showing 3 arguments for the program. Any program arguments are available in an array named @argv. I am iterating that array with a Foreach loop and I choose $arg as the name of the iterated element. As you may know, the @ sign is used as the prefix for arrays in Perl. And dollar signs are used as prefixes for so-called scalar values, which are single values, for example, a numeric value or a string. The keyword my is used for variable declarations. Inside the Foreach loop, the iterated program argument is printed to the screen by calling the print function. The string created in that print call begins with a \n to write the text on a new line. \n is the line break character. The question, "What is your name?" is printed with the print function on the line where an input prompt will be displayed. Since I want the input prompt to appear on the same line, I do not use \n at the end of the string being printed. I am using the function readline with the argument STDIN to receive input from the keyboard into a variable that I call $name. STDIN stands for standard input, which usually means the keyboard. An alternative to use the readline function with STDIN as argument is to write less than character STDIN greater than character, which I will show later in this video. Then I print the content of the variable $name with the function print and with the text hello as prefix. When I now execute the script, it works almost as expected, but the variable $name includes an additional line break at the end. This problem can be easily fixed by calling the chunk function to remove so-called whitespace at the end of a string. When I now execute the script again, you can see that it works as expected. Now there is no additional line break at the end of the variable $name when it is printed to the screen. Finally, I will show that it also works with an alternative to use the readline function. Now I will instead use the less than character STDIN greater than character. And when the script is executed again, you can see that it works just like before when the readline function was used.